Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm a late diagnosed autistic human being from France, and I make videos talking about my own experience as a late diagnosed autistic human being. And this video must be cursed or something because I've tried to film it twice already. The first time over several days, and then again last night. And I was filming for 40 minutes. And 25 of which vanished because my phone died while I was recording. So I lost the footage, which sucks because I was quite happy with it. But, you know, let's not dwell on that for too long. Three times the charm, is that what they say? So, you know, got my little kitty cat here. I don't know if you can see him. It's quite dark. I've been filming at night lately, so yeah, you can't see anything, can you? Okay. You know, I feel like because I'm struggling to put things into words, at least this provided some training, and now I'm gonna have an easier time expressing what I want to say because I did it twice already. So, even though it's a little bit different every time, you know. I'm currently recovering from autistic burnout. In case you're new to my channel, I've been in autistic burnout for a while. I'm still not sure. I made a whole video talking about how I've been in burnout for a decade. I'm still not 100% certain about that. I don't know if what I was experiencing was normal autistic fatigue, and just because like the pressures from life exceeded my capacity, or if it was chronic burnout, or if this is my first burnout. I have no idea, but this is the worst burnout I've ever experienced, to be sure. And it's been going on for about 8 months, since March. I got my autism diagnosis in February. And I started to feel the symptoms of burnout around March, and it just got progressively worse, and then it got a little better over summer because I was able to rest and I didn't socialize or anything like that. I cancelled travel plans. And then I had to move from England to France. Basically, the whole months of August and September were spent preparing the move, and then even after the move, we were still handling things with our previous landlady, trying to get our deposit back and things like that. So those 2 months were dedicated to moving, basically, and that really sucked all the energy I had managed to regain over the summer. And there was a bit of a delayed effect. Like in September, I wasn't doing too bad, and then around mid-October to mid-November was the worst. So I had a few weeks where I was basically bedridden. It wasn't too bad. Didn't last that long. Only 2-3 weeks where I like really couldn't do anything. Then about 10 days ago, I actually posted on my channel, on my community tab, saying how I was really happy because I had more energy. I was able to wash my hair for the first time in a month, and I was able to go for a walk for the first time in weeks, and I was really happy about that. And it's been my energy levels increased kind of all at once that day, and then, well, over a couple days, and then since then they've been pretty stagnant. Pretty obviously there's ups and downs. I mean, burnout recovery is not linear, and we're not machines, we're human beings, so we have days that are better than others. But since I made that post on my community tab, I haven't gone back to a state of fatigue that I was in weeks ago, you know. So that's good. I've just been struggling with the transition, you know, from basically living my life in bed to spending more time downstairs and doing more things, you know, like making lunch and watching over my cats as they go to the garden and you know, things that I wasn't able to do for a few weeks that I'm able to do again in small doses. And so, and like going for walks and stuff, we put up the Christmas tree. You know, it's been really cool being able to do more. But it's been a transition for me. Like change is hard. That was a change for me, from like a change in my routine, a change in my the way I live my life on a daily basis. So there was some adjusting. I'm still getting used to it. You know, I had a pretty good routine when I was pretty much living in my bedroom. Now I'm like, sometimes I don't know what to do with myself, because I'm like, it's like I got used to existing only upstairs in the house, and now I have to take into account that there's a downstairs as well, and I'm not used to it anymore, and it feels almost unfamiliar. You know what I mean? But I want to make the most of the Christmas tree because it's one of my favorite parts of Christmas, and I love Christmas. It fills my heart with so much joy. But yeah, I can't spend too long downstairs also, because like sensory wise, there aren't really any curtains on the windows. There's wooden shutters that we can close from the outside, but it's not very practical. Also, the lights from the Christmas trees hurt my eyes quite a bit because they're quite bright, and they're a bit too white for my liking. I wish it was a bit warmer. I tried to last year. I applied some orange marker on each little LED light, which made it better, but it's still too white for my liking. So it hurts my eyes, but I want to enjoy the Christmas magic, so I try to spend a little bit of time downstairs every day. I go for walks. I've been going for a walk almost every day. And yeah, I'm still tired, obviously. I'm not fully recovered from the burnout. I'm still tired. But it's nothing compared to how I felt even 2 weeks ago, where like even taking a shower was too much. I had to clean myself in the bathtub every couple days. That way I could sit down. I didn't have to stand up. So yeah, it was quite bad. It's not that bad anymore. But I'm still tired. Still recovering. So yeah, there's that whole transition period, and my brain is still convinced, even though I now have tangible proof that I can feel better. My brain is still convinced that I'll never go back to my normal energy levels. I don't know what to do about it. It's like, at this point, I don't know if it's rigid thinking or what, but like, I can't shake the feeling of like, this is my life. Like I'll never have the energy to travel again, or socialize for more than 30 minutes, or you know, like, I don't know why I'm convinced of that. I mentioned that in past videos where I become, so it's like I struggle to believe in something until I've experienced it. So if I had experienced this level of burnout before and I had fully recovered from it, I would be able to rationalize and be like, okay, I've been through this before. I can do it again. It will be okay. But since I've never experienced that before, I feel that way basically anytime I experience something new. I'm like, this is it. So it sucks because it takes a lot of my energy. Obviously, I haven't been making it as many videos as usual. The main reason is obviously burnout, because it takes a lot of energy for me to talk, honestly. Like, talking, communicating in general, like communication skills tend to be affected when you're in autistic burnout, and like it becomes more difficult to find your words, to express yourself in a clear, concise, accurate way. Just communication in general is harder, you know. I get more tired from talking, even if technically I'm just talking to myself right now. It still takes energy, you know, to think about what I want to say, get the words out, and then edit the video, do all the post-production stuff, even if it's the most basic in the world. So I haven't been able to do a lot of that. But there's also an element of, I don't know, I'm just struggling a bit, and I don't really know how to put it into words, and I feel like I did a good job yesterday, which is why it sucks that I lost the footage. I've been making videos since January. I mean, technically I filmed my first video for this channel on the 14th of December 2023, so it's gonna be a year ago in a couple weeks. And you know, at first this was kind of a video diary from myself to look back on, to document my journey, and then if it helped people along the way, great. But it was never a thing of like, I'm doing it for the views, I want my channel to grow, I want this to be my career, or anything like that. And it's been great. It's been very therapeutic, being able to process verbally whatever I'm going through, and then exchange with you guys in the comments. I don't really know how to explain it, but I'm getting to a point where, and maybe it's just because of burnout and it will come back afterwards, but like I'm not enjoying the process as much as I normally do. And I don't know if it's a mix of PDA, which is pathological demand avoidance, or as we prefer to call it in the autistic community, persistent drive for autonomy, which is where like anytime you feel any kind of demand or outside pressure, exterior pressure to do things, you get that sort of panic feeling, and you just don't want to do the thing, even if you initially wanted to do it, but just because someone's asking you to do it, or because society expects it, or whatever, suddenly you can't do it anymore, or you don't want to do it anymore. I don't know if there's some of that, because I feel like now it's more than just me talking to a camera and putting it on the internet. I feel like, I don't know, I'm just imagining some kind of demand of like, I have to keep making videos or whatever, I don't know. But it's making it, I guess, less fun for me, because I want this to remain something I do because I enjoy it, something that makes me feel good. I don't want it to become an obligation or anything like that. So I'm not saying I'm gonna stop making videos, but I don't know, I'm figuring out like how I feel about it, because at this point I'm like, it's almost like at this point I'm making videos because I feel like I have to post on a semi-regular basis, because I don't want to abandon my channel for weeks on end. But also I don't know. I just I don't know how I feel about my channel right now. And I thought I'd share that. Also, another aspect, on top of the PDA, there's a thing that happens even in my real life relationships with people where I'll spend some time with someone, and after after a while, or like it's very I really notice it in therapy, because in therapy you have to be very vulnerable. You talk a lot about yourself, your life, blah blah blah. And I don't know, after a while of being with a therapist or making these videos or spending time with someone, I feel like I paint a picture of myself over time that is not 100% accurate. I don't know if it has to do with masking or if it has to do with trauma. Probably a bit of, it's always, all of my struggles usually are a mix of trauma and autism. But I don't know, I'm going to talk about therapy because that's like the most obvious example in my head. But like in therapy, you meet this new person, and within the first session, you're already talking about the most vulnerable, deep, intimate aspects of your life with this stranger. And you have to, the only mode of communication is verbal, so you have to talk a lot. And when you have delayed processing, and you feel this pressure to answer right away or like give a certain information, like so that the therapist can get to know you and stuff, I find that I end up saying things that I don't necessarily think, or I say them in a way that isn't necessarily representative of how I feel. I don't know how to explain it. And so after a while, I feel like the therapist thinks they have a good picture of who I am. But deep down, I'm like, that's not really who I am. So is it a form of masking? Is it just because, I don't know, man. And I get uncomfortable. And then the way I deal with it usually is I stop going to that therapist. It's not obvious to me in the moment. Usually there will be another underlying reason, but then when I think about it, it's like, oh, it was becoming uncomfortable because I feel like I revealed too much of myself. It's also that thing with autism of like oversharing. When you feel like you've overshared with someone, you've shared too much about yourself, and then you feel uncomfortable. Is it the same as like feeling perceived? I don't know. I'm a bit lost, to be honest. Most of the time I don't really know what I'm experiencing. And it's the same in my videos, where I feel like even though I am almost completely unmasked in my videos, you still get to see such a small portion of who I am, how I choose to appear in my videos, the things I choose to talk about. It's such a small portion of myself and my life and stuff. You don't see me on a daily basis, apart from that one like daily day in my life vlog that I filmed a few months ago, and it was still highly edited, so I guess in a way it feels kind of disingenuine. Is that the word? Doesn't feel super genuine because I don't show 100% of myself. And I know it's unrealistic to hope to show 100% of just, like, no one does that. Not even neurotypicals do that. Everyone keeps some parts of who they are to themselves, but I don't know. And so with all the videos I've posted, now it's like there's this picture of myself that I've painted on my channel on the internet that isn't 100% representative of who I am. I don't know. That's what it feels like, at least. And there are things I said in my videos that I don't agree with anymore, that I've moved away from, and I have to resist the urge to like delete the video and do it all over again. But like, as time goes by, I process things, I understand things, I figure things out, and my perspective on things changes. And then I'm like, you know, like I feel like I'm often contradicting myself. And I feel like I'm giving I'm giving the impression that I'm saying one thing and then the opposite, and that I don't know what I'm talking about, or like I convince myself that, like, that's another thing, is like when I've spent some time with someone in my personal life, a therapist, or even in my videos, I convince myself that really people must find me really annoying, and that's probably where the trauma comes in, because I mean, there aren't any real reasons to think that. It's just the mere fact of having exposed myself to a certain person for over a long period of time. I'm like, they must be so tired of me by now. And it's the same with my videos, and now I'm like, no one wants to, like, even though you guys are always telling me in the comments that you find my videos relatable, which is why I keep making them. It's one of the reasons why I keep making them. I still convince myself that, nah, people don't want to see that. Like, who's interested in hearing me talk right now? I'm often, while filming my videos, I'm often fighting that thing of like, no one cares what I have to say. Like, who cares what I'm experiencing? And I know that, you know, people care, because I care what other people say in their videos, and then, you know, like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm making much sense. Not really sure what I'm feeling. So also I feel like I get more confused with my own thoughts and emotions because of burnout. The mental fog aspect of things. It reinforces that. I guess I just wanted to give a little bit of an update on my burnout recovery. Still taking it one day at a time. I don't know if I'm like, I feel like I struggle to find the gray area, and it's either all or nothing, you know, with the black and white thinking. So I went from not doing anything a couple weeks ago to now having more energy to do stuff, and I really have to resist the urge to do all the things, because I don't have the energy, you know, to do as much as when I'm not in burnout. And it's very hard for me to find that balance. And I watched a short a while ago that talked about this, and it was really well articulated.
Autistic burnout just stops you in your tracks. But what happens when you're starting to recover from autistic burnout and you want to get back to some semblance of like day-to-day life? I'm finding it really difficult to find the balance of rest and trying to push myself, I guess. I think this is because rest is essentially something that I was never trained in. If anything, I taught myself how to push my boundaries so much that it felt normal to be unwell because of how much I pushed myself. And so since I've experienced autistic burnout, where I really physically just could not carry on, I gave up my job, I stopped socializing, I was basically inside, stuck in my house for a very long time. And that was like a forced rest, but it wasn't really rest because it was basically me just trying to survive and repair my body enough that I could go through a day and do the bare minimum. And that's the bare minimum with some kind of support because I couldn't work. At that stage, the bare minimum was try and get out of bed, try and have some food, try and maybe have a shower. Now I'm at the stage of recovery where I can do those things, not on a consistent basis, but I've figured out like how often I can do those things and how much I can prioritize doing the standard normal things in life. I find that my like mental drive to continue to try and find work and start back up life and start pushing myself again has come back full force, when the reality is just because I can now shower every day if I need to does not mean that I can also go to work and work a full 8-hour day. It feels as though I just don't have a grey area. I don't have somewhere in between where I can accept that I can do certain things but I can't do other things. It's like either all or nothing. That is the rigid thinking that I try to overcome every single day because it's not helping. But I also think that it's partly because I pushed myself past my limits for so long that that's what my body is used to. That's how my body is used to operating. It doesn't know any other way unless it's pushed to the point of no return and it stops in its tracks. This is where I'm starting to think that rest for me is a real act of resistance, an act of resistance against the masking, against the way in which I pushed myself to physical and mental and emotional illness. And the reason why I like the word resistance is because resistance literally means opposing a force. The force in this case being the force within me that literally wants to push through every single time. It's a push and pull that I think is going to remain a constant in my life in some way. And therefore the practice of rest in amidst trying to figure out how to live a day-to-day life that involves doing things I want to do is going to be a constant thing I have to practice.
So yeah, I struggle to find that gray area, that balance where I'm not staying in bed all day, but I'm also not doing too much and keeping myself from recovering. And I'm trying to take breaks throughout the day and pace myself and not push myself so hard, not fall into the trap of doing stuff like doing stuff continuously until I run out of energy and I crash. I want to avoid crashing midway, you know, I want to avoid crashing midday. I want to try to end the day with at least one spoon left, like not being in a spoon deficit by the end of the day, which is really difficult. There was this what I've been calling the low spoon diet that I figured out thanks to ChatGPT, which is where you start your day and you're like, how many spoons do I have for the day? And then you make a list of all the things you absolutely have to do for the day. And then you say, okay, how many spoons am I gonna need for each of these things? And as you do them throughout the day, you're like, okay, how many spoons did this actually take? And then based on how many spoons you have left, or if something unexpected happens that uses up your spoons as well, you reevaluate throughout the day whether you have enough spoons left for all the other things you wanted to do, and you adjust your schedule accordingly. So I think that's a great trick to avoid spending all your spoons before the end of the day. I haven't really put it into practice yet, but I think it's a really great tool. But yeah, I'm trying to pace myself, and I can feel the difference on days when I don't push myself beyond my limit, past my limits, and take time to recover throughout the day. I am less tired and overstimulated in the evening, because it's not only the physical fatigue, right? It's also very much mental. So if I am in bed all day and I don't move, but I am constantly watching movies, videos, fast paced stuff, listening to lots of music, and like talking to my partner at the same time, doing multiple things at the same time, like I'll be exhausted, even though, like, I'll be mentally exhausted, even though I haven't moved from my bed, you know? So it's not only the physical aspect of things, it's also cognitive, mental, and like the sensory aspect of things as well. Still working on it. I still get frustrated from time to time by the fact that I'm still so limited, and it's the festive festive season, you know. The city I live in is organizing a bunch of events throughout December for Christmas, and I don't know if I'll be able to participate because it means going into town and stuff. And I wanted to participate, so I'm a little sad about that. Also, I don't know what to expect from Christmas with my in-laws. You know, I don't know if I'll have the energy to spend time with them, and if I'll be able to look after myself while they're here. It's just I still have all these questions and these worries, you know, and like, what about next year? Like, I can't make any plans as long as I feel like that, because I have no idea when I'll be able to travel again, when I'll be able to go out and do fun things again. And I'm happy that I have more energy, for sure. It's just like I said, I struggle with the transition and finding the balance and continuing to recover without spending all my time in bed. And yeah, so it's a work in progress. I have ideas of videos I want to make, but most of them are like, they're not this type of vlog where I just talk about what's going on in my life. It's more like, you know, specific subjects that I want to talk about. And these require more energy because there might be some prepping involved beforehand, you know, writing down bullet points and stuff. Or because it's a chunky subject that's gonna require me to film for a long period of time, and you know, all that. So I don't know when I'll be making those. In the meantime, I'll continue to make these vlog type videos. Let me know if you find them helpful in any way, if you like to hear me talk about my burnout recovery, or if, you know, just leave a comment if you like this type of video. Don't leave a comment to say that you don't like it. You know what I mean? Because that's gonna make me really sad. Only leave a comment if you do like it, so that I'll know that some people are interested in watching them, and I'll keep making them if I feel like it. And yeah, hopefully I figure out where I want to go with my channel from here, and it doesn't feel like an obligation, or you know. But yeah, there are aspects of myself that I never show to anyone really besides my partner, because they are aspects of myself that I have a lot of shame around because society sees them in a certain way, or I've been criticized for them in the past, and so I don't feel comfortable showing them to people because I automatically think that people are gonna see me as immature, childish, they're not gonna take me seriously, they're gonna think I'm weird, whatever. But like, on a daily basis, I'm actually very silly. I like to make silly voices. I have a lot of childlike mannerisms or behaviors or whatever. And yeah, I have a lot of childlike aspects of myself. But whenever I'm with people that are not safe, whether it's in my videos because like I'm not comfortable putting that on the internet, or with people I'm not comfortable with in real life, I hide those parts of myself and I put on this mask of the serious past, the serious adult, the responsible adult, the mature adult, who's got it all together, and it's something that I've been able to identify more clearly thanks to Unmasking Autism by Dr. Devon Price, which is a really cool book. I was able to identify those parts of myself that are more childlike that I hide because I don't want to be seen as weird, or like I do a lot of vocal stimming, and all these things that I don't show in my videos or with certain people. And that makes me feel like I'm masking parts of myself and I'm not being completely authentic. And it bothers me because I would like to be more myself, to feel like I'm being more genuine, or just because I'm angry at the fact that I'm frustrated with the fact that I feel like I have to hide these parts of myself because I don't think there's anything wrong with them, but society says they're wrong. And I'm so scared of getting hurt that and it's automatic, right? It's not something I think about. I'm not like, okay, I'm about to turn the camera on, so I better not make those silly voices. No, it's not conscious. I just automatically don't do these things, you know? Again, like I keep figuring stuff out about myself. I keep processing stuff over time, and what I'm saying in this video might not be relevant a month from now. Or like sometimes I make videos where I talk about a specific subject that is very relevant at that point in time, maybe just that specific day. And then the next day I'm like, why did I even talk about this? Because I gaslight myself a lot, I mentioned that before, but I'm always constantly being like, oh, that thing I thought, that thing I felt, it's bullshit. And it's not, it's valid. It's something I experienced at one point, something I thought about at some point, and it's okay to express those things, even if I don't feel that way the following day or the following week or the following month. It was still valid at that time. But I have that thing of going like, ugh, I shouldn't have talked about this. Like, first of all, who cares? And like, it's not that important, or it's not that relevant, or it's not that, So I tend to do that a lot. And I'll probably look back on this video a month from now and be like, ugh, I shouldn't even have made that video because I'm not talking about anything very important or relevant or whatever. But I'm still gonna publish this video as a way to stop doing that to myself and to resist the urge to gaslight myself and just, yeah, my inner bully. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna rest some more. I'm gonna soak in all the Christmas spirit. I hope you're having a good month of December so far, and I hope you have an advent calendar, because those things are not just for kids. Yeah, I hope you're having a good Christmas festive season. I don't know when I'll make the next video, but in the meantime, thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves. Bye.